What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't. So, I've spoke on this before, and the Clippers big man situation is very, very concerning to me. And I say that in a good way because you think about Zubac, you think about Mason Plumlee, and then you think about Daniel Theis. Now, when Zubac was out these last several weeks, Mason Plumlee and Daniel Theis played very, very well. And honestly, the way they played and how the ball movement was crisp and how they, interacted in regards to being put in lineups and put in situations offensively and on the defensive end, they reacted very well. And as I said before, when I think about somebody like Mason Plumlee, he is a type of center who can get you a lot of extra offensive rebounds by tapping the ball back out as soon as it hits off the rim and getting extra offensive rebounds himself initially. And he can actually get rebounds and push the ball almost like a point guard and find somebody on a fast break to get an easy 2 points before the opposite team get their defense set to try to stop what the Clippers are doing. That's a skill that Zubac doesn't offer. When you think about Daniel Theis, he has the ability, or mainly he is a scrapper, a grinder type guy, but he's also a fairly decent perimeter shooter. So it's like when you think about that, as I said before, if he takes 3 or 4 3-pointers, he can hit 1 or 2 of them and open up the offense a little bit more in regards to not them being so predictable between Kawhi, PG, and a little bit of James Harden here and there, and a dose of Terrence Mann. So it's like when you think about that, that's another skill set that he brings that the other 2 centers don't have. But then when you think about Zubac comes in, or Zubac starts most of the time, and he's the type of guy where you can throw the ball into him and he can just kind of get his own shot off and score a little bit. He's got feathery touch around the paint. And at times, he'll surprise you and bang in the paint a little bit, with those guys in there and give you a little bit of nasty, within the paint. So that's definitely a good thing also. So when you think about the 3 centers that they have, you think about 3 different type of, skill sets that they bring that each one of them don't have, or each one of them is not that great at. So it's like, with that being said, it makes it more of an issue to a degree for Ty Lue going in the long run, because in the playoffs, of course, you would want somebody like Zoo in there to be the starting guy, to kind of just go in there and bang in the paint. But I mean, if you had Plumlee in there or Daniel Theis as a starting center, it really wouldn't make a difference, because Daniel Theis plays with a lot of energy. He's a banger type a little bit, and, he gets a little gritty and nasty in the paint also. But like I said, he could step out to the perimeter where that would actually give them another weapon. And see, this is my point with all 3 of those centers. Of course, Zubac, in a lot of people's eyes, still should be the starting center, which I don't disagree if he is the starting center. But honestly, I think you could start either one of the 3. And I just don't know how, I guess pending on matchups, pending on the situation, Ty Lue will definitely shake some things up. And my thing is, don't be surprised if you see a shakeup in that 5 position, because when you think about those 3, those skill sets that each one of them have, and the importance each one of them bring, it really will open things up, not only for the offense, but for their defense as well, because all 3 of them, like I said, they all have a grinding mentality, but they all specialize in other areas. One is more, as I said, can get offensive rebounds better than the other one. The other one can shoot from perimeter more, and Zubac can bang in the paint and get his own shot in the, with the hook shot within the paint a little bit better. So, I mean, of course, you need all 3, but don't be surprised if you see a shakeup in regards to a starting lineup between one of those 3, because depending on the situation, I mean, it depends on who would be more valuable. Like if they actually played a team like the Phoenix Suns, you can probably say that Zubac would be more valuable in that, possibly because he can kind of score more in the paint and get some easier baskets, things of that nature. Or, possibly if they played somebody like the Denver Nuggets, you can maybe, of course, Zubac could be the starting center there, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt to have somebody like Plumlee, in the starting lineup to shake a little things up if they had to play him in a 7-game series, because Plumlee is more, he's a little bit more physical than the other 2, I think. tank, and he likes to kind of rough guys up a little bit, bang against them, be a little physical with them, make them uncomfortable. And like I said, he's more defensive minded, I think, than Zubac and or possibly Daniel Theis as well. So when you think about that, you need somebody like that against somebody like Jokic, because if Jokic just has somebody finesse in there where like a Zubac, well, he's going to score on him just as easily as maybe Zubac can, well, I can say Zubac can score on him easily, but I'm just saying it'll be a mismatch, very much so, because like I said, you don't have nobody that's bothering Jokic. You got to have somebody to bother him to make your team have a better chance to beat them in a 7-game series. And you can't just throw Kawhi on him all the time and then maybe somebody like Zubac, because it could work, but it might not work. And see, that's maybe, what happened to them in the bubble as well. They ain't have somebody that really, challenged Jokic in a way to where they're being physical with him, trying to get in his head a little bit, roughing him up some. And that's where Mason Plumlee comes in. So my point is, between those three centers that the Clippers have, depending on the matchup, you might see either one of them in the starting lineup. It might not necessarily just be Zoo. And the good thing about this situation is it's a great situation for the Clippers and Ty Lue to be in, because you got toys you could play with that all do different things a little bit better than the other one. So it's almost like when you had that combination and put them all together, no team is really ready for that. You see what I'm saying? And having that type of versatility in your 5 position is going to make you so much of a dangerous team, which is the reason why the Clippers are a dangerous team now, facing a lot of teams that they face. Even though Zubac, which he came back, last night, but even though Zubac is more likely in the starting lineup, you still have to deal with those other guys because they bring something that, each one of them don't bring. And it just kind of makes it a little bit difficult as the game goes on, because you're not really, you're used to Zubac banging the paint, but then they bring in Theis. He steps out the perimeter, start knocking down threes. Now you got to make some adjustments on your defense, which allows the Clippers to have the upper hand, the advantage. So, I would say this is a good problem for the Clippers to have, but I'm also saying don't be surprised if Ty Lue makes some switch ups with that lineup change in regards to the starting lineup with the big man position, because they have a lot of good pieces. They got 3 good pieces that a lot of teams might not be ready for.